Welcome back to Real Life Reviews, and in this video we're going to take a look at the top 10 things that we at Real Life Reviews think that you should be taking on every ride. Now I say 10, there's going to be a little bonus at the end, so 11. You could also argue that some of these things come in multiples and therefore there's more than 10 anyway. However, 10 things that we think you should be taking. Let us know in the comments down below whether you agree. Have we missed something out? We probably have done. Is there something that you think is more important? There's a sort of an order to these 10. Is number one, or is number 1 number 10? Anyway, comments in down below please, and also there's a link in the description down below to Wiggle, where you can buy an awful lot, if not all actually, of this stuff, and the channel gets just a tiny percentage of everything that you spend, and you get some great deals as well. So number 1 on this list is the inner tube. You can bet your bottom dollar you are going to have a puncture. Be careful though, make sure you have the right size, and there are 3 areas to look at here. Actual wheel size, and on the road, yes, 700cc is our common, but 650B, the smaller size, is becoming more popular, and on our mountain bike we have 3 common wheel sizes, 26, 27.5 and 29. So get the right size in terms of wheel size, get the right size in terms of width. Inner tubes will go 23 to 28, etc. Make sure you got the right width. And for the triathletes and time trialists of us out there, and those using deeper section wheels, then do make sure that you've got the right valve stem length to fit your wheels. Nothing worse than pulling out the inner tube and you can't actually fill the inner tube up. That then takes me on to number 2, a mini pump, or for that matter, a CO2 system. Again, arguably you might say this is 2 bits, you need the CO2 canister and you need the chuck. Either way, you're going to need something to put some air in your new inner tube. Next up is a decent multi-tool, because the second most prevalent issue you're probably going to come across on the bike is a loose fitting somewhere. Now, regular maintenance and checking should remove this. However, I do that a lot. I've had in the last couple of years, I've only had 2 instances. One has been loose bars at the stem, my fault obviously, and the other was loose saddle. The saddle came loose on a ride and needed tightening up. Okay, so a good multi-tool. A good multi-tool is also going to remove the need for other things. So this one, for example, has tyre levers in the handle, and we have a review of this. This is the Topeak Hexus X or Hexus 10, and that's going to remove the need to carry tyre levers, and there's all sorts of tyre levers, to carry tyre levers with you. I know there are those out there who will say you don't need a tyre lever. Well, great, don't take a tyre lever, but believe me, there will be times when, if nothing else, the tyre lever is going to make things easier. But when it's cold and the rubber's stiffer, if you're running tubeless and you can't break that seal, well, hey, why make life difficult for yourself? So a good multi-tool sits right there in the top 3 for me. Next on my list is a mobile phone. Now, a number of you will probably already use your mobile phone to map your ride and to upload to Strava, Garmin or whatever. But there are 2 particular reasons why I put the mobile phone on here. One is to take those lovely photos for memories of that ride you've done and add them to your Strava account, etc. And the other is emergencies. You just don't know when you're going to need to make that call, even if it's to home, to get someone to pick you up, or a taxi, something like that. Heaven forbid you actually have an accident and you need to ring for an ambulance or something because there's no one around. But you could argue number 4 on my list should be number 1 on the list. Depends on your priorities. However, mobile phone. We started this with an inner tube at number 1, and if you've had a puncture, there is always the chance you're going to get another one. I must be incredibly unlucky, although I don't get many punctures on rides, but the very first triathlon I did, it was a local one on local roads, country roads. I got 3 punctures, and they weren't because I hadn't removed what had caused the first one. They were in two tyres and in different places on the front tyre. So next on my list is a little patch kit. Self-glued, so they're often called glue-less because you don't get glue in the kit, but patches that you can put straight on to the inner tube that you've taken out. Get these, not ones with glue, because they fix pretty much straight away. That's what they're designed for. Some of them will have a little roughing element in them just to help the attachment to the inner tube, but basically you just want a few little patches that can slide into your kit for you to repair that inner tube should you get a second puncture. Okay, so we're now starting to get quite a bit of kit, and in the back of our jersey we've got pockets, and I know a lot of people just stuff everything in their pockets and that's how they ride. Personally, I don't like that. I like my pockets to be for nutrition. I have one pocket that I put my gels and bars in. I have a pocket that I leave empty on the other side, and that's what I put my empty wrappers in, so when I add my gel, change hands, pop it in the other side. And I tend to carry often my mobile phone in the middle of my back, so I can be quite naughty and take photos on the bike. Slow down obviously, and take a photo if I'm not stopping. However, we need somewhere to keep everything. So a decent saddle bag that goes on your seat post under your saddle, various types. This is a wrap one that you can use, is going to help keep all your stuff neat and tidy together and make sure that it doesn't get lost. At number 7 is hydration, water. Take a drink with you. It goes along with, I mentioned just now, energy gel, even some hydration tablets to put in your water or some electrolyte powder. And added bonus, if you've got an energy gel here, if you do get a side split in your tyre, whether you're running tubeless or not, you can use this wrapper, have the energy gel first, or put it in your water, and use the wrapper as a boot for your tyre. Number 8 on my list is cash and plastic. So I always take a debit card, debit or credit, in this case a debit card, and some cash. You just never know. It might be an unscheduled coffee and cake stop, yum yum, or you just might have that ultimate issue. You've had to use your phone to get a taxi or something, and you're going to have to pay for the taxi. So, ultra emergency, cash, credit card. We're getting there now. Number 9. Number 9's a little one that I don't think a lot of people think about. It's a spare Quicklink. Should you break your chain, should you be doing a long race, an Ironman or something, you suddenly hit that steep hill, you get your gear change, you've got it wrong in the first place, you whack down at the front and up at the back, and you get that sudden, and the chain goes. It happens. Now, I'll be honest, it's not happened to me on the road, but it has happened to me on a mountain bike. The only time I've broken a chain, it was on a mountain bike, but I have seen someone break their chain on an Ironman in front of me. In fact, it was at Bolton in 2018, hitting. So carrying those Quicklinks are number 9. And if you've got a good multi-tool, you've got a chain breaker on the multi-tool, so you can remove the pins to fit a new link. Number 10 then, a Ziploc bag. Something to put bits and pieces in. I know I've got a saddlebag already, but something to put bits and pieces in to keep them together. And apologies for using Elmo. You don't have to have an Elmo Ziploc bag, but something to put all your bits in, keep the money dry, although a lot of new money doesn't matter if it gets wet. Put the change if you stop for a coffee and cake, but something to put everything together and give you that added little bit of waterproofness and to stop things rattling around. Ziploc bag. I said at the beginning, a little bonus at the end, so some of you will say I should have said 11 things, but 10. But my little bonus is a couple of cable ties. They weigh virtually nothing, and you'd be amazed how useful cable ties can be. So number 11 of the 10 is a couple of little cable ties. So there we are. Our idea at Real Life Reviews of the top 10-ish things that you should take on every ride. As I said at the beginning, if you've got any comments, if you've got any suggestions, if you think we've got something wrong, if you've got something better that should be in there, do please let us know. And also, it lets those watching have a little read and get some more ideas. So, thank you very much. If you've enjoyed watching the video, please give it a thumbs up. Remember, there is a link to Wiggle in the description down below, and the channel, for every bit you spend, and you often get some great deals, you don't spend any more, the channel just gets a tiny proportion and it helps us to keep going. If you haven't yet subscribed, then click on the round picture just down there. The link to our website with other great links is just there. If you want to see a review of that Hexus X multi-tool, well, that's just up there. And if you want to see a little video on how to fix a puncture, well, that's just up there. So once again, thanks so much for watching.